How's everybody doing? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, y'all. Hey. Hi, sister. Hi, cousin. Come on in. How's everybody doing today? I'm giving poetic justice today. Y'all like my poetic justice family? What she said in poetic justice? Give me a pack of those juju bees. I don't have juju bees, but I have hot tamales. So Janet said, give me a pack of those. Give me some of them juju bees or something like that. So I'm eating hot tamales today. Thank you. Thank you, cousin. How y'all doing? Everybody all right? Waiting for my guests to step on in. Come on in. I hope she know where to go. It's a really nice day out. Everybody asks me why I have my toes out already. I want to say it's none of their business, but I'm trying to be nice, especially for this show today. She's a, spiritual life coach, so trying to get all my nice ways out and be very nice to people these days. Me and Dee Dee is gone. So I didn't have any comment about why I had my toes out other than because I want my feet out. That wasn't mean. Because I want my feet out. I don't like shoes. I don't like socks. Never did. So it's warm outside. It's 70 something degrees. I got my toes out. I'm not going to spend all that money to get my toes done and not show them. So yeah, my feet are out. What about you guys? Are you guys wearing your open toe sandals yet? Because I sure am. I've been wearing them. I think I've been wearing them for a while now. Let me see if my guest's in yet. Okay, she's not in yet. So, welcome to Community and Connection Chats with Dee. Like I said, today I am giving poetic justice, eating my jujubes, and just having a guest on today that can shed light on spiritual path, working as a psychiatric mental health worker in a nearby Jersey hospital. She has a number of shows. She does a number of, radio shows, indie radio, and she does marketing. So she has media. She has a media approach. She has a media brand, and she expands mainstream onto her broader markets. So she's basically all over. She does European artists, Asian artists. She expands everywhere. So she opens up her radio show for all types of music. She doesn't focus on one area of music. I don't know where she is. It's 6:04. I didn't get a message from her, but I'm just gonna go on with my show. She should be coming in soon, I hope. If not, then we're gonna go on. We're gonna do question and answer. How about that? Hey, Jay. I had a great interview with Jay Halim. I'm waiting for my guest, Jay, so I'm going to talk about earlier. Did an interview with Jay Halim earlier, and there's my guest. She's in. Hi, Ayesha. I'm going to bring you in. I already did your intro. I introduced you already. I'm going to bring you on in. But let me tell about my meeting with Jay Halim earlier. Jay Halim was on my show a couple weeks ago, and we talked about his book and how he went from being a felon to entrepreneur, having his own mindset courses. Well, today I did a interview with him, podcast interview, and can't wait for you guys to see it. Okay, we talk so much, we got to go into part 2. So I don't know why he didn't expect that at all. You know, it's probably gonna be 2, 3, 4 episodes because we can get to chatting. So without further ado, like I said, I'm bringing in Ayasha Roberson. She's a founder and CEO of Urban Socialites LLC. Like I said before, she has a number of businesses up her sleeve. She works full time in psychiatric mental health. She has the radio show Urban Socialite. She Urban SL is what you guys seen me posted. Go follow that page. And she has the radio show where she broadens her horizons to everyone all over the world. So it's global. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring in Ayasha. If you're ready, Ayasha, just give me a heads up. Put a purple heart or black heart and let me know you're ready, and I'll bring you in. I don't want to rush you, but I'll bring you in as soon as you're ready. So I'll have her. Good evening, cousin. Thanks for coming in. Hope you cooking something good. But all right, she's ready. So let me bring her in. And without further ado, Miss Ayasha Roberson is coming to the stage. Hey, turn your camera around.
Hey, I'm right here.
Clean your screen. Clean your screen.
Hi.
I can't see you.
You can't see me?
Yeah, wipe your
Okay,
screen.
hold on for 1 second. Hopefully, it's so blurry. Okay,
Yeah,
hold on for 1 second.
It's a little blurry. Yeah, me and Ayasha, we have quite a few meetings all the time. We talk a lot. We talk about a lot of business moves, and we chat about a lot of things in mental health. We both work in mental health, so we could go hours talking, her and I.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, and we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am happy to have you on my show today.
Thank you.
And introduce you to my family and friends who watch every Tuesday. I know a lot of them have heard of you, and I've talked about you to quite a few of them. So how about you just introduce yourself and we'll get to chatting.
Okay. Well, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Testing.
I can definitely hear you. Yeah.
Cool. So again, thank you, Deidre, so much for having me on your show. Again, my name is Ayasha Roberson. I am a certified spiritual life coach, but for the past 22 years, I've worked in the mental health field as a psychiatric screener, crisis worker in New Jersey. And most people who don't know what that is, that means that when people are in crisis, they come to the hospital to seek some type of inpatient psychiatric treatment or care if they want resources. We're like the last stop before someone has to go inpatient. And the screener part is basically, you commit someone into the hospital against their will when they're endangering themselves and others. With all that being said, I also have my business called Urban Socialites, and that's been in existence for about 11 years. And basically, we're a multimedia company. I have a video production portion of the company. So we have our own little shows. We have a radio station called Indie Live Music Radio, where we have indie artists, music from around the world on the station. The reason why I created that part of the company, because I wanted to have a positivity when it comes to people of color in entertainment. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, we're not really shown positively in media. Because we don't own the media companies and stations. And this is way before, social media came about and before social media became very powerful like it is now. Like, we didn't have as many social media platforms like we have now that we had like 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. So I just wanted to create really good content that's positive, something that will enlighten people, empower people, and something that's just different. So when you go to USL, you will see different shows that I host. For instance, Deidre just said, like, USL Lifestyle, where I talk about just beauty and and mental health and spiritual wellness and things that you may not hear about on other stations because they really can't do things that I do because that's my specialty. So, so it's just a really different entity. And then of course we have the 1-on-1 in 10, which is 1-on-1 in 10 minutes with an indie artist from around the world once a week. And I revamped that show because it was a blog a couple of years ago. Revamped from a blog to a more of a vlog now. And you can get to actually see their interaction with any artists and talk and hear from them and how they're actually still just fighting their own adversities and things of that nature. And I want people to know, whether it's a music show, whether it's a fashion or wellness or holistic perspective, people need to see other people and hear from them, because a lot of times working in the field for so many younger years, a lot of people don't think that they're only the ones going through what they're going through. And there's so many people out here that's going through what you're going through, whether it's financial stressors, whether it's the children acting a mess, your man or your woman's acting a mess, you having your own interpersonal self-esteem issues within yourself that you're dealing with, or any trauma. There's so many people that are dealing with some of the similar things that so many other people are dealing with, and people just don't know, so they feel like they're just alone. Yeah. So it's really about bringing communities together and just learning from each other and really seeing the light in us all, because we all have light, but a lot of times we don't get to see that light. We always see the negativity or the darkness, or we see what we want to see. But the company is something that I created that has evolved into more than what I could even imagine. It's about your true, authentic self. USL Network, Universal Light Network, Shine Your Light. So it's really about shining your light and really putting out good content for people to see the greatness in you, whether you're black, blue, purple, orange. It's really about seeing that, and that's the direction of USL. And then I wanted to also let you know about my spiritual life coaching company. So I'm a certified spiritual life coach. And if you don't know what spiritual life coach is,
we want to make sure everybody knows about the spiritual life coaching. But I want to bring you back to how you started in mental health, because you work in mental health. So how did you start in mental health, and what drove you to go in that direction of mental health? Because that was where I came from as well.
Yeah.
Mental health. So how did you exactly start it? Because I didn't go to college for that. That was my degree. I did some study of psychology and abnormal psychology and things like that in school, but I had no plans in getting into the social work field or mental health field. So how did you go in that direction?
Well, I always like to say to people, the field, I didn't pick the field, it picked me. So when I graduated from college, which was 20 nothing. It was 2002. I graduated the semester right after 9/11. So 9/11 had just happened. I went to Richard Stockton College from New Jersey, which is now Stockton University. So I had been in school for 5 years, started in 97, graduated in 2002. So I really didn't have an idea what field I wanted to go into. I just know at the end of the day, my mom kept on saying in the back of my mind, and it was now like greater than me, I needed a job. But I didn't realize what mental health really was back then. This is like 20-something years ago. And when my first job was working at an adult day program in Philadelphia, because I couldn't get a job in New Jersey because all the jobs were frozen because of 9/11. I ended up getting a job back in Philadelphia. And I remember working as a, I can't remember.
You're a Philly girl. Sorry. I want to tell everybody, you're a Philly girl. I normally do my shows with the community, like my native Newark people or Jersey people, but I have people from everywhere. So you're a Philly girl. We love Philly.
Yes, I am.
So, okay. So go ahead.
Yeah. I am a Philly girl, but I do live in Jersey. I love Jersey. Everyone that knows me in Philly, they really get upset with me because I have so much love for Jersey. So Jersey is where I live. This is where I've been since I was about 24 years old. So now I'm 42, so I'm dating myself. So So, Jersey and being in Philly, I had to move back there. I got my first job, working in the mental health field. And it was really different because this is someone, myself, I've never really been exposed to mental health. When you think of a day program, people there are chronically mentally ill people. These are people that have had mental illness majority of their life, if not most of their life. Some of them had them as a child as well. And I probably was like the youngest person working there at the time. So it was very different. And I didn't really know what a job would look like. I just knew my mom just kept on saying, you have to have a job. You have to be gainfully employed. You need to work. Mm-hmm. Stuff of that nature. She just kept on banging it into my head. Now, mind you, my mom, I don't come from, what you want to say? I'm a very humble person, but I didn't come from humble beginnings. So I come from a pretty privileged family background in Philadelphia. So she just kept on saying all these things to me, and I got my job, was so excited. And I remember, as you know, the year kept on going, the following year happens, it's tax time, and I wasn't making that much money. I didn't know how much money was, because my first job, I didn't have any experience to say, oh, this is not a lot of money, this is not a lot of money. But I remember the following year when she did my taxes, it wasn't a lot of money. And I didn't realize going into the mental health field, the pay was going to be so low for so much work that you do when you're in the field. Yeah. You know, no one gave me that lesson when I was in college. You know, when you major in sociology or psychology or social work or any of the anthropology or on any of the allergy perspective classes, you start off very, very low when it comes to the pay. Versus like my mom went to school, she went to Temple University in the 70s, and when in the 70s she went, I believe she graduated 1977 or something, I can't remember, 77 or 78, and she only had a bachelor's degree in administrative science. She was in the 70s, 80s, my mom was making pretty decent money, mm-hmm. you know, and that was pretty historical, because, you know, a person of color back then wasn't making that kind of money. First of all, she had a bachelor's degree too, because back then you didn't really need a bachelor's degree, let alone, only thing you really needed was a high school diploma. And then you date yourself 24 years prior, because it's only 24 years difference between me and my mother, age difference. And by the time I got out of school, you really needed a bachelor's degree. But who knew you were going to start off so low at the scale of it? Right. So I had to really work myself to the bone. And I had a lot of negative thoughts too, because I think a lot of times us as people, we're so programmed by our parents, we don't realize how much negative thoughts they put into our head. Just like, for example, my mom was like, what you think, money don't grow on trees, or, you know, mm-hmm. exactly, or you don't got a pot to piss in the window and throw it out. These are all negative sayings that we may look at it. I didn't realize it was a negative, but it is a negative saying. Like, because then I'm running around subconscious like, oh, I don't have a pot to piss in the window, throw it out. I have to work. I have to work. I have to work. And you beat yourself up because I'm working 12-hour shifts. I'm working a part-time job, and I'm still not feeling like money is really flowing, mm-hmm. because I'm just always thinking about what I don't have. Right. And as I worked in the mental health field, I gained experience. I believed I went for my master's in social work, withdrew from that program because I realized I didn't want to be a social worker, because I felt like being a social worker wasn't going to really give me the lifestyle that I wanted. I already struggled for this is about maybe 5 years in, just paying the bills, because, working in the mental health field, you don't get paid as much as some of my colleagues that had graduated from college the year prior, or even the year that I graduated. Mm-hmm. So I ended up getting a master's in administrative science. And as I got the master's in administrative science, I found out I still couldn't get a job in a different field, because now I have gained all the experience in mental health field, but no experience in the other field, like marketing. No marketing experience, no business experience, because all my experience have stayed in the mental health field. But instead of looking at it as a negative, I tried and started to look at as a positive. And that's where the healing part comes in at. And that's why I always say, I didn't pick the field picked me. So that's where the universe wanted me to be, because that's where I'm greatly more served and needed in the communities of people that I've been around for the past 17 years as a crisis clinician / psychiatric screener. And then also just working in, just being able to empower people, to motivate people to really see them at their worst. Because at the end of the day, I was at my worst and no one was there to motivate me. I had to really motivate myself, really challenging to go through what you're going through when you don't have the support system that you think that you have from your family. Because a lot of times our family is broken. They got their own issues. They really can't motivate you because they like, girl, I got my own issue. I got my own stuff going on. And that may sound selfish. That may sound a little mean. But at the end of the day, at least they know what they can and cannot handle. It's just their delivery is kind of bad. But
some people leave out of a situation but don't realize they have that, negative thoughts in their head and that mental health baggage from their parents that they done inherited, because for years they've been, abused and verbally abused, and they get away from that family, but now they're alone raising their own family, and that's coming into their new home. I've seen that with a lot of people I've worked with. They're like, I haven't spoke to my mom in 20 years, but now they're in a situation because they feel like they're doing the same thing to their child. But
correct.
Yeah. And I mean, what I have seen is that people will come to get help because of that. But at least they're seeing that. At least they're seeing that they need the help.
Right.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people just, continue that negative impact on their kids over and over and over again, and it becomes a generational thing where it's a whole health issue, and it becomes a generational thing. Now it's passed down from the great grandmother down to the great grandchildren.
Correct.
Yeah, so I've seen that.
Correct.
But friends and family, I've seen it. And associates, I've seen that in my own community happen.
And you know what? It's great that you say that, Deidre, because we just came off the Mother's Day weekend. So there was a lot of people, this was like, people were saying, oh, this was the worst Mother's Day weekend ever because they weren't able to really do anything because it rained the whole entire weekend, which I had a feeling was going to happen. It rained the whole entire weekend nonstop. It wasn't like a drizzle here, drizzle there. It was like nonstop rain. And it was so cold. But there were so many people.
We always get rain on Mother's Day. Always. The fathers always get a great weekend. I was one of the people that was emotional this past weekend. I was very emotional. And I think it's because I bought I know why. But there was other reasons why I bought that on myself this weekend. It was because, I have so many friends who lost their child. Lost a mother, and I felt bad. Like I didn't know what to do, and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know, how to be there for them at this time, because that's just like, because that they will cut you off. They cutting everybody around them off. They don't want to
correct
anybody at this time, and I felt horrible that somebody's going through that while we're all celebrating. So if you go on my page, you'll see my first post on Mother's Day was to the people who lost a child, don't have their mom here, because that's all who I was thinking about the whole time.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? It's good that you were thinking about that, because I think me and you were on the same synchronicity this Mother's Day weekend, because there's a lot of people who don't have a good example of what a good mother is. They may have a mother that they had some trauma, like the mother may have caused them pain in their childhood, so they may not have a good relationship with their mother. Their mother could be alive and well. And one of the things I want to kind of piggyback what you were saying, Deidre, is that this past weekend I spent Mother's Day for the first time in almost 2 years with my mother. And me and my mother, we don't really see eye to eye. We don't really have a good rapport and things of that nature as well. And my mom wasn't a horrible mother, and she wasn't a good mother. She was just who she is, who she is. I accept her for who she is and what she knows. Well, a lot of times our mothers just do what they do because that's what they know. You know, there's no book when it comes to parenting. But I always tell people, you have to set boundaries. You have to set emotional boundaries and physical boundaries. So if you don't feel as though people in your family are respecting you and treating you right, sometimes you gotta create distance. And that's one thing I did with my mother. I had to create distance. I mean, I love her, I respect her, but you're gonna respect me if, you know, if me and you need to talk or have a conversation, something doesn't go right, then you need to be able to know, because you don't respect my boundaries, this is what I have to do. And it's not
I'm like
me.
that with Miss Sherry Pickett too. That's my mama. I get like that with her all the time. And you know, I will, the other night, I think it was maybe Friday night, my car broke down. She's calling me, my daughter calling me. They was just building stress on me. And you know, oh well, don't come down all the way down here, because my daughter was further than I am, and my mom is closer, and they were just driving me nuts. And both of them get to yelling. I hung up. Look, and it's like we got a phone and hang up, but I pressed that button. I was like, up, and I put both of them on do not disturb. Y'all figure out a way. You know, my daughter got roadside. Her insurance will come get her. The car dealership, they'll pick up the car. Y'all ain't got to call me. Don't drive me crazy. And that's what.
Correct.
And it was just like, all right, Mother's Day here. All right, Ma, you want to go out to eat? Let's go to my cousin's vegan spot. Get dressed. Go hang out my uncle's for a while, you know. So I did pick up the phone, call her, and hung out with her for the 2 days. But I get like that with Sherry.
Yeah, you have to. You have to set boundaries, and you have to also just let people know, family and friends, like, because if you don't, you be taken advantage of, and you become the yes person. Yes, 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 yes. And there's mothers out there, and women, mothers and women, period. I see it more with women than I do with men, because I think men use more of that masculine energy that they have, that yang energy, and women, we don't know when to use it, and a lot of times we don't use it when we're appropriately at times, and that's why we're usually always physically look like we beat up and emotionally beat up, because we don't really set the boundaries. We got these emotional blocks. We blame ourselves. We blame other people for things that didn't go right in our lives or in the past too.
There you go, Ayesha, reading me again. I just told everybody I did a podcast this morning with one of the guys who was on my show before, Jay. And this is what we talk about. We was talking about feminine energy and the masculine energy, and how we should separate that. You know, at one point I was given masculine energy a lot in my relationships, you know, and trying to be that one that will control and everything. And so now it's just like, okay, I want to be that one that produces that feminine energy so that I can actually keep a man, you know, because I run them away with this masculine, tough energy I have over here, you know, and put them in a corner. So, you know, you're reading off of me again. And we do that a lot, everybody who's watching.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's a spiritual thing. So when you're spiritually aligned and connected, you can pick up on other things have happened earlier today, or something someone said, and it's like almost like confirmation. Yeah,
give them a little bit of that. Explain about that so people can understand, because I wanted you to explain, you know, manifesting. So because a lot of my viewers, you know, I talk to them a lot, and I see a lot of people that popped in that we always discuss manifesting things, you know. And manifesting what we want. So talk about that energy part to manifesting for me.
Okay. So one of the things, you know, we have the law of manifestation, law of attraction. There's a universal of different types of laws. But I always tell my clients, and when I do speaking engagements, you have to really, before you can even manifest anything, you have to change your thought process. It's called the concentration process. So we have a lot of subconscious thoughts and conscious thoughts that I talked a little bit about earlier that are in our mind. They creep up on us. They are very negative thoughts, but we may not think that they're negative thoughts, but they really are, because that's what creates our reality, subconsciously or consciously. Do you ever get a chance or remember, sometimes you're driving in the car and you go and you get to work and you don't even remember how you got to work? because you just got there and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? I don't remember, because you're so deep in thought, but you're driving and your focus, you're physically there and you're driving, but you're so deep in thought, and that's your subconscious. You don't even remember. And that's how our thoughts are, subconsciously. So as adults, we produce about 50,000 to 70,000 negative thoughts per day. That's a lot of negative thoughts.
Yeah.
So we have negative thoughts about how we feel, negative thoughts about what goes on when we hit certain situations, whether it's our job, whether it's relationships with people, whether it's our kids' school, whether it's the teachers at the kids' school, whether it's our professors at our school, whether it's our parents. It's so many different situational thoughts that we have that all comes together that makes up our thoughts that we have on a daily basis. And one of the things I tell my clients is that you have to discreate your negative thoughts. You have to discreate all the negative programming that has been done so you can recreate positive thoughts, so you can attract different things into your life positively. Because what we do, we actually attract a lot of negativity into our life without us really knowing what we're attracting, how we're attracting it. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, like for instance, let me give you an example. So we will say, well, I don't have enough money. I don't have a good enough job.
Yeah.
I don't like where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by you saying I don't, you're attracting more of what you don't have. Instead of just saying, I do have enough money. Money comes easily and frequently. I have a great job. I live in a beautiful area. You can live in East Orange, New Jersey, in Newark, in a not in a good environment. I always pick out the city areas, but there also are suburban areas that aren't good either. I'm just using a city area for example. But you can always talk about how negative it is, and you don't like the crime and the people it is, and it's trash here, and people smoking this and shooting here. Or you can just say, I live in such a beautiful, great, positive community. It's so beautiful outside. I see the sun. I smell the air. You have to think positively, even when things are not going for you positively. You have to actually feel it, because we live in a feeling universe. Everything that you feel, you think. It comes from your feelings, then your thoughts. And if you feel negative and feel bad and angry, then you're going to produce negative and angry and bad thoughts. So you really have to change the way that you feel about yourself and about your environment and your condition in order for you to really attract the things that you want to attract. Because if you do it, just doing it based off your negative mindset and the way you feel, it's like putting on a dirty shirt and you're not clean.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be just piling on negative thing on a dirty body, just negative clothes on a dirty body. So you got to clean your mindset of what you feel and think, and that takes time to do. Because it took us time to get these negative thoughts and negative energy and negative just belief system about ourselves. It takes you time to discreate it. One thing I say as a healer, as a spiritual life coach, if you come to me for any type of sessions, and my clients that come to me, it's not a quick fix. This is not a quick fix type of thing. If you want a quick fix, don't come to me. You can go to someone else. Because it's not about quick fix. It's really about healing. It's really about getting behind the thing, 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 behind the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes time for you to get behind the thing, 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 behind the thing. It's like Dr. Seuss, the book, The Thing. How many things are they? They're like millions of things, right? So I hope that's a question.
How do you actually you know how when negative thoughts come through your head, because you know I'm the type of person that I manifest. I have a friend who just got on right on time, right when you were talking about it. We try to manifest things together a lot, you know. How do you feel about that? Like because I feel like at times when we manifest things, like we'll call each other and say, you know, I was manifesting this and look what happened, or you know, I wasn't trying to manifest this, but look at this. I didn't actually do this. Like if I was gonna do something, but I was just thinking it, and it actually happens before I do it. You know,
Correct.
It's just like I rush and call her and say, oh, look, I didn't even have to do anything. So how do you feel about that? And how do you, my second question is, how do you clear those negative thoughts out your head? Because when I tried sometimes to say, okay, um, I want this to go well for myself, but then I see sometimes the negative side as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I heard one person say one time, I was watching a video one time, they said that you should say, that's not true, that's not true, to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your
Mm-hmm.
way, briefly, without, we want to get people to come to you and get personal sessions, but what is a way that you could tell me or some viewers of how to get that clear out of your head to go towards the positive thoughts?
Cool beans. So this is two questions. So the first thing is basically what you and your friend is doing is so great, and most people cannot do that. That's actually when you have a spiritual relationship with someone and you're on the same spiritual alignment, and you're spiritually connected, and you're doing positive things together, and you're spiritually connecting with this person, and you're saying, oh my gosh, this is what we're going to do. It's like similar to a goal when you go to try to lose weight with a friend. This is what we're going to do together. And you actually start manifesting, and y'all hold each other accountable. But what you're doing is you're spiritually ascending, and you're vibrating more ever, and you're healing yourself more faster with your spiritual relationship with your friend versus doing it on your own. And that's a great way of allowing your negative thoughts to kind of, discreate them and allow positive thoughts to come in, because you have someone that's spiritually aligned with you. Now, to have someone that is spiritually aligned with you, usually you are going to attract someone that's on the same spiritual playing field that you are in. So I know offline we have talked about, where you have been spiritually. So you just naturally attracted someone that was just as spiritually aligned as you were to be able to do that. Most people can't do that. So that's a very special gift that you have, Deidre. The second thing is to really discreate your thoughts. One of the things I do in session with my clients is sentence completions. So we talk about, what's really bothering you. So I'll give you an example. I feel like I can't trust somebody because they make me upset. I feel like I can't trust this person because they let me down. I feel like I can't trust someone before because I hate myself. I feel like I can't trust someone before because they hurt me. I feel like, and it's just a consistently thing of really trying to get out all the negativity that's in your subconscious mind, laying back in your memory, and really allowing yourself to be open to come out. Now, some of my clients in the past, they were like, well, everything is good. I don't have any problems. I said, okay, you don't got any problems. So, you don't got any problems. Okay.
Right.
Now, I guess I won't be able to work with you because you're allowing your ego mind to block you from really healing. And our ego mind is not good or bad. It just blocks. It's an ego defense mechanism. So we have to let our guard down, and we're really going to get the help healing. If we're really going to get behind the thing, so we can clear up all this negative dharma about ourselves, our karma, and all the things that happened in the past. In order for us to do that, we have to really let our guard down to do it. So it is a process. I'm trying to give you a brief overview of how the process would go, and eventually it's like a ping pong. Mm-hmm. Eventually you're going to just be able to think positively. It'll just happen just subconsciously. One of the things I always tell a couple of my clients that say, I'll never have any money, I said, just say money comes easy and frequently. Money comes easy and frequently. Money comes easy and frequently. And one of my clients, they got email from somewhere, and just money just comes. You just have to really think about it in a positive way. You have to change your thought pattern in order for you to attract the things that you want in your life. If you desire to have love, you have to really get back to what is making you so hardened about love, what's making you so broken about it, and then discreate everything that has broken you about love, whatever has broken your heart about it. And then we can really get to it. A lot of times I also suggest to my clients as well about being a healer or spiritual life coach is about stones that can actually help you with releasing whatever type of pain that you're having. You know, whether it's a jade stone, that's for, you know, your heart chakra, or whether it can be something that's a root chakra for, and that's for family, like having problems with your families and not having, being estranged for them and not having closure. And also forgiving not just them but yourself as well. So there's a lot of modules that go into really just creating your thought process to really produce these thoughts. Now, I don't know how long it will take. It depends on how much work you want to put in, because at the end of the day, this is healing work. This takes hard work to heal. You know, I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not going to analyze your thoughts. I'm talking about your feelings. Your feelings are what connects your thoughts to the way you make you feel. So I want you to be able to feel good so you could do good. And when you do good, it's like the world is at top of your hand. Like you can do just anything, and you should feel that before you should be able to see that. It's like as the old Christian saying goes, faith without works is dead, right? So you have to have some type of faith, some type of something that's going to help you to want to manifest to that level, so you can get to that level of manifestation. So you are seeing all the great abundance and prosperity and wealth and success and happiness and love and joy and all the great things that the universe can offer to you, because it is yours. So you're a part of the universe. The universe is waiting to give it to you.
You can't come in there as a non-believer. You just can't come in there saying, okay, Ayesha, this is not for me. I'm going to listen to you, but this is not my cup of tea. I don't believe in this crap. You can't go in here thinking like that.
Correct. Yeah, and you know what? There's people who are licensed clinical social workers who are dear friends of mine. I have a colleague of mine who's a licensed clinical social worker. I have a colleague of mine who's a psychiatrist as well. And a lot of times when you talk about our clients and things of that nature as well, a lot of times they're like, you know, this is the healing work, and they give me a lot of credit for it because most people won't do it. They just won't do it. They want a quick fix and they want a Band-Aid. You know what I mean? Because I've had clients who will come for 1 or 2 sessions and walk away and not come back. And then when they come back, they're worse than what they were prior to them coming to see me. Because it's easier for you to go back to doing whatever you were doing. It's easy to go drinking and sex and spend all the money and eat and do all the things that's going to give you the superficial satisfaction, versus really going in and be like, listen, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let me get myself right and try to heal myself. Because when you heal yourself, you're not just healing yourself, you're healing your past and you're healing your future. You're healing future generations. Right. Do you ever wonder why some people in their family generations are kind of like on the positive side? You can have like, excuse me with my nose, generations of people who are just positive people. It's because someone in that family was a healer. Someone in that family was really praying for that person and healing that family. Now, they may not have called it. Black people, of course, may not have a word to it years ago, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago, but they were really healing their families. And sometimes you will see that with white families as well, or Latino families as well. They just have generation of really positive people. Someone in their family, I can sense that someone in their family was a healer and really healed that family. And that's how that family was able to move the way they're moving, emotionally, mentally, physically.
I was with one of my Hispanic family, well, I call them my family, but my best friend, her family, it was like every time I walked in that house, everybody was happy. Her mom singing, her father playing the congos, whatever it is that he played. And that's been like that ever since we were little. You know, I would go and spend the night, and they're the same way. And her father's like, I think he's like 80 now, and he still get up on the top of the van, is washing down the van, and he's waving down the block. And I'm going, it's no freaking way. It's like 20 of y'all in this house, and everybody's happy. Why? You know, but the church is a week, you know. So it was just like, why was they so happy all the time? But I understand. I mean, they always say, we're blessed, Dee Dee. We're blessed. We are spiritual, and they just the same way today. And they
Right.
have problems. Everybody have financial issues, everything, but they're still just full of humble joy. I swear.
It's beautiful. And that just shows me that they have a light about their family. It's a light within them. I always tell people, some people use like, healing, I'm a healer, or these words so like, so laxly. I do this and I do that and so forth. But when you really are a healer in a way, you're actually living that as a lifestyle, and you are actually wanting to see other people want to experience life in that greater sense, that greater happiness, that greater joy, that greater peace, because there's a lot of people that have money, they have no peace.
Right.
Just like, what was her name? The Miss America young lady that killed herself, jumped off the building in New York City.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there are more and more people. Listen to me. I'm telling you, people, please listen. There are so many people out here that's hurting. And there are so many people out here that got money, and they're the most saddest and depressed and suicidal people out here. So don't let the Instagram and the social media fool you. There are people out here that are so hurting, and they're masking it. They're doing a very good job of masking. Masking is very easy to do, especially if you're a highly functional individual, meaning that you're a person that has a degree or some degrees, or you're a good paying job. You're a highly functional individual, so you can mask those symptoms.
That's right. And I tell people all the time. That's why I tell my story all the time. I'm very emotional. Very emotional. And I think, as the people, well, probably everybody up here that know me, they'll tell you I am the most emotional person. And I wasn't like that years ago. But as I got older, I have more responsibilities. I have more worries, and a lot of, my family members, they look on to me, my kids, my mom, like everybody looks on to me. Even when I am, I would say at my worst, because I'm never at my worst. I'm not going to say that. But even when there are responsibilities that I have to put first, it's just like, I'm still that go-to person.
You are.
And I feel like I'm responsible for them as well. But I wanted you, because I don't want Instagram to cut us off, but I wanted you to explain where people can reach out to you for, because I want to get into the radio show.
Okay.
Doing. So how can people get in touch with you about spiritual life coaching?
Okay, so you can email me. I can put my email in the comments, because my email address is kind of long. If you want to email me, and they can also go to urbansocializenj.com, which I'm going to put also in the comments as well. You check out the website. I do have my new website coming up. It's actually out. It's just not live yet, because I'm waiting for my video to be edited. So that's going to be called Lift Your Spirits LLC. That will be out sometime this summer, and it was going to have everything you need to know about life coaching. I'm also going to be offering yoga, and also with Pilates as well to individuals. It's all about your mind, body, and spirit. Spirit first, mind second, as far as it goes when it comes to really getting yourself together. A lot of times we do physical first and then spirit last, which is not really the best way to do it, because you're broken. So you need to help rebuild all the emotional trauma that's going on, so, and feel happy and good about your life and self. So when you do get the great things from the universe, you will feel so fulfilled. It won't be just the superficial stuff that's holding you. You'll have more of the the genuine stuff of love and happiness and peace. Because you, like I said before, you can have all the money in the world and not be at peace with yourself. And I love to have peace of mind. Peace of mind is better than having money and status and reputation. So it's really about finding your authentic self, understanding who you are as a person, the thing behind the thing behind the thing. And then you start to just create all the negative stuff to create positivity into your life so you can attract all the abundance and manifestation into your life, because it's right there, it's here, it's waiting for you. You just haven't accessed it yet.
Right. Well, I'm gonna put all Ayesha's contact information for the life coaching under the video. Once we're done with Instagram, I'll upload all my videos to YouTube, so all our information will be there. I will be pinning a reel, putting a reel up on Instagram once we're done, so that I can send everybody to my YouTube page, and all Ayesha's information will be there as well for you guys to get in contact with her. So on to the radio show. Let's talk.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna give you the platform on this because you're the boss. So you let them know what we have coming up, and you know what you have coming up.
Yeah, definitely. So me and Deetra, we have a radio show coming out this summer. It's going to be called the Check-In Morning Show. So we're going to be talking about your spiritual health when it comes to you. It's going to be inspirational. It's going to help you on a day-to-day basis. The show will just come out, I believe we said Monday and Friday. So it's going to be twice a week starting off, and then we're going to increase it to see how you guys may enjoy it. Y'all will be able to get to hear the radio show on Indie Live Music Radio, which is where my company has our radio. We have a couple of radio shows already on Indie Live Music Radio, and you can go in the TuneIn app. If you have the TuneIn, you can always download it from your Google. I have a Samsung, so it would be a Google store. Or if you have an iPhone, you can do the iPhone store as well, and download the TuneIn app, and you can always listen to the station, but you also hear our show as well. And it's really about checking in with you, checking in to make sure you're doing okay. And we feel as though, and I especially feel as though, that we need a morning show that checks in with you. You know, because no one is really checking in with anybody nowadays. I feel like people are all doing their own little thing. We all are kind of like in our own little island. And then when something happens to someone, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Oh my God. Oh. And it's before we get to the, oh my gosh, I didn't know type of thing. Let's be more of a community and just check in with someone. Let's have a place for us to go to where you just need to let your hair down and you don't feel like you're going to be judged when you go to work. When you work in sometimes environments where we can't talk about the things that's really bothering us or upsetting us. Me and Deetra both worked in environments where, you know, it may have not been a lot of people of color, or it may have been people of color, and we still couldn't let our guard down because of the negative energy or the things that we were experiencing on the job. And this is a show that's created for not just me and her, but for you guys as well. And we are going to just be talking about some really cool topics on our show, and it's going to be a quick show. I think it's only an hour-long show. And we're just going to really be talking about the spiritual perspective of things. And then also we'll have some mental health issues as well to address as well within our community, what's really affecting us as Black and brown people. Because, you know, not too long ago, 40-something years ago, you know, we as a Black community, we didn't talk really about mental health. We went to the church for our health. You know what I mean? The church was a very sound community when it came to, you know, our issues and our pain. And we're just talking about all the riots that were going on in the 60s because of JFK and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Robert Kennedy, all these people that had passed away that were so influential in the Black community. So we would go to the church, we would do it through our music, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then after a while, you know,
nobody about your problem.
Huh?
What it was.
What you say?
You know, or it was don't tell nobody. It stays in the house.
Oh yeah, and don't tell nobody. Keep it to yourself. Yeah. So this is a show that you don't have to you can actually listen in and feel like you're a part of a community that actually cares, and you can actually learn from our experiences, what we have done in certain situations, work situations, friend situations, colleague situations, and that can help you deal with your situation, what you're facing and dealing with. Because like I said at the beginning, we're all going through something. Every last person, even the celebrities on Instagram, everyone's going through something. Now, they may not show you what they're going through because it's all about, kind of showing you the good life, quote unquote, but we're all going through a struggle. If you're breathing up above ground, you're going through a struggle. So you have to kind of see past the illusion of what you see and see with that spiritual eye, that third eye, and see the hurt. And sometimes, I can see the hurt and pain from people from a picture and from a video, that something is off with the person. That's a spiritual thing. Mm-hmm. So we'll also discuss the difference between spirituality versus mental health, because a lot of time mental health and spirituality get confused. How can you identify from spiritual from mental health? So we'll have guests on there to talk about it. I have quite a few psychiatrists who actually they are licensed, trained, board certified psychiatrists, but they're also healers as well. So talking to them about the difference as well when they do their work. So it's just going to be a great show. We have a lot of different guests that you may not even think of having on the show. We're going to have on the show, and of course we're going to have songs, some music, and things of that. It's just going to be a really great show, and I'm excited. We don't have a date yet, but it will be coming out soon.
Okay, what is he saying? What is the song? Is the song? Did you computer and you didn't want to? I don't know what he's talking about. I know who that is, but I don't know. Maybe he's just
the design song.
He fell asleep. He's while his phone is in his hand. He probably fell asleep while the phone was in his hand. You could continue.
Okay. No, yeah, so this is what we're going to be doing. I felt like it's definitely a need to create something that's going to help get you on your morning up and away. It's going to help get you grounded. It's going to help make you feel spiritually alive. You ever listen to a show that kind of makes you feel like, oh my gosh, this is really speaking to me? It's speaking to me in a way that's going to help keep me focused. I've listened to shows like that years ago in Philadelphia metropolitan area, because where I'm from, Philadelphia. They have a show, and it didn't come out until I was young adult. I think I was in my early 20s. It's called Praise 103.9. I'm not quite sure whether it's still called Praise 103.9 because I don't live in that area any longer. But it was a show that would come out. I think it was called Single and Save or something like that. And it came out on like a Sunday night. And it really, at the time, that's what spoke to me. And it was a show that, you would have all these people that were probably listening were more single, but the two people that were the two hosts of the show was a husband and wife duo, and they were married, but before they got married, they were single and saved. And they just talked about their trials and tribulations, being a Christian, of course, and how they were able to, and that thing related to me. So this show is going to relate to you guys, because we're not just going to talk about Christianity. We're going to talk about all spirituality, Islam and Judaism and all different types of spirituality, and how I think that's why the psycho-spiritual perspective of really talking about it from a spiritual perspective will help allow everyone to learn from each other how we can build full life. So
I'm sorry, my daughter tried to cut in on our video, but I hope everybody was able to hear you. I had went out. But yeah, but I look forward to the show with Ayasha. We've been working on everything, and she's the brains behind the show. So we get together monthly and discuss everything. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be a great thing. And I hope everybody will be enjoying it. I will be sharing that information once we are up and running and everything is live. It won't be a live show. You guys are here right on the radio, but so we'll be able to you won't miss anything. You can always listen in on the show, but it's going to
Correct.
be a morning show, and I will be giving that information as soon as Ayesha clears everything and give me the information. I will be publicizing it on my social media accounts.
Oh, definitely. And I'm excited about the show as well. So I know that Deidre, me and her have talked offline with my own little technical issues with not being so technical savvy, but I'm learning as I go. And I have one of my staffers who is kind of trying to help me out behind the scenes to kind of figure out Audacity, you know?
And
So
I'm learning it too. So
yeah, yeah,
so we're
yeah,
learning together. We're gonna figure this
yeah,
thing out because it's totally different from going live on Instagram or going live on Facebook. It's more technical. So, and
yeah.
she's working really hard to bring you guys a good show. So I look forward to it. I definitely do. And Ayesha always bring great energy when we talk. We can go on forever.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We go.
And then no, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Deidre. And and I also want everyone to realize, this is going to be a show that your children can also listen to as well. Like if you have teenage children or college age children or even preteens, it's something that they can grow and learn from. And I always tell people, when I was a preteen, I wish someone was helping me out and giving me spiritual guidance. My parents weren't really, our parents aren't really spiritual. They were more dogmatic into their religion as a Christian, but they weren't spiritual. So it was no one really spiritually guiding me when I had questions or when how to deal with it from a spiritual perspective. You know what I mean? I just had this issue with one of my clients last night that I saw. She's doing things with her friends, but still not feeling spiritually satisfied. So it's something spiritually unbalanced within inside herself, and it's something that I said, well, let's try to figure out what's spiritually unbalanced within inside yourself. So I actually have to send her some things so we can kind of identify.
Are you still because for anybody who's going to reach out to you, are you still meeting with children or?
Yeah, I do. I have children.
Okay, you haven't shut that down. Okay.
No, I haven't shut the children down yet.
No, she does. People don't know, but that's an insider thing.
Oh yeah. I was being tested.
So I'm glad that you're still working with children, but she works with children and adults. So if anyone reaches her, you have, you want her to meet with your children. She also does life coaching for children as well.
Yes, but they have to be 11 and up. So they have to be 11 years old and up for children. And we're also, I have a colleague that I work with when I do my spiritual life coaching. And we actually, because of the weather, we didn't think it was going to be this cool for so long because, it's like it's going into the second full week of May. So she also is a Reiki master, and we do sound healing, sound therapy together. That's with the bowls. So a lot of times when I do my meditation with my clients, there's some blockage. So she will do color therapy, which is also a holistic thing. And, she can identify what colors that you can wear and also eat that can help you realign your chakras and balance yourself out, because a lot of times when we have different illnesses, it's based off of the imbalance of our chakras. And the holistic therapy is a whole different thing when it comes to that in the medical realm. Even at the hospital that I work at, which is Overlook, we even have a holistic Reiki master on the floor who will perform Reiki in the room if it's part of the spiritual care section of the hospital. So some of the patients there or their family members will ask for a Reiki practitioner to come in to do X, Y, and Z. So, I mean, it's definitely, I I'm telling you, between our show and the spiritual life coaching stuff that we're doing, I think you guys are just going to be blown away with all this information that you never even really heard about, and all the great things that have been happening with people. And it's going to help change your life. It's going to help move you. And just by you being here tonight, it's going to help change your life. It's already helped change your life, and it's helped move you, and it's altered your future in so many different ways, the more what you could ever imagine. A lot of times people don't realize, just by you clicking on to a button, it alters your thinking. It alters something in your path, and it lines you up and sets you up for something greater than what you could ever expect. So I'm excited for you guys. I'm all about trying to heal myself, self-heal myself, love myself, so you can continue to love yourself and heal yourself in ways that more than what you could ever expect. And that's really what the Check-In Morning Show is about, and that's really what I do as a spiritual life coach. And we're excited to come together as two powerful Black sisters doing our thing, really want to help people just want to just feel that positive, energetic energy that's within inside yourself, or come from the source that's within inside yourself that hasn't been unlocked, that hasn't been unleashed yet. And I want you to be able to truly love yourself and just be truly grateful and show gratitude for the things that you have, so you can fully access all the different things the universe has for you.
Mm-hmm. It's a healing show. It
is a healing show.
I'm looking forward to it, because I mean, we bring the people from the communities on here. We talk about, mental health and businesses and things like that. Also bringing life stories on here. So I can't wait till we get to your show where we're still talking to people, but we're also able to get those same people that I had on the show to come listen and receive healing, because they have so many tasks under their belt and they're doing so much that, who's there to support them? Who's there to ask them, are you okay?
Correct.
We don't always have that, but we want that. We want someone to say, how you doing? Are you okay? Because you have so much going on, so I want my people that's been on here, and I'll make sure that I get everybody to listen in. And, we definitely try to get some people back that was on my show, try to get them on our show. That would be fun as well. So I look forward to it, Ayasha.
I'm looking forward to it too. And you know what, Deidre, I see one more thing before I go, because I know I'm running out of time. But I went to church on Sunday with my mother, and you just said something about the healing. And so many people, it wasn't a lot of people inside church, but there was quite a few people that came to church service on Sunday. And I haven't gone to church in over 2 years. So I just, I felt in my spirit that I needed to go. So I went with my mom. So to make a long story short, the pastor gave his speech, and, he has to kind of be neutral with it, because, I could see that the pastor knows that there's just some mothers out here that haven't been mothers, but he's trying to celebrate the mothers that have. And I think nowadays, in my line of work, I'm starting to see more and more mothers who aren't, quote unquote, the praying mother, like the grandmothers back in the day. They'd be just praying grandmothers, just praying. My mom is not even a praying mother. My mom pray, but she don't be praying to the point where she get drunk or anything of that nature. She ain't that kind of. And I see more the moms like my mom versus the moms that was like my great grandmother.
Yeah.
Or like my grandmother, who's 93 years old, who has dementia. But there, I was a little disappointed, because so many people was people there I could feel spiritually that came there for healing. Mm-hmm. They wanted to heal, and they didn't get what they were looking for. They didn't get what they thought they were going to receive when they
arrived.
Got here. So they left out the same way that they came. And we wanted to show you in our show, you're not going to leave the same way that you come out of. Now, if you come in and you leave out the same way that you came, that means that you didn't get anything and you're blocked and you don't want to receive anything. And that's a more of a you thing versus an us thing. But our show is going to be really deep, and I'll give you some inspirational quotes and things that's going to really help you throughout your life. It's a continuation. So I'm just really excited about that. And Deidre, you hit the nail right on the head. It's really about a show.
Yeah, well, I know my cousins that's on here. My cousin Tabby Tab that just commented. She was on my first show. here. So, I'm grateful for her. So I'm sure she's going to listen in, and quite a few of my other cousins that are on here right now too, who are regular viewers. They definitely are looking forward, and I see those hearts coming in. So I know that's them. Thank you
Oh, thank you guys.
so much, Ayesha. We're definitely gonna let everybody know when the show is gonna kick off. We're working on some things, and so it could be great. And we hope that everybody looks forward to it and listen in. And I appreciate you coming on my show.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You're doing so much great work, and I'm so excited that I was able to actually be a guest on your show. I'm going to actually try to tune in next Tuesday because I don't have to work next Tuesday, and really support what you're doing because I love what you're doing. I think it's a great platform, and I think it's something that really is going to really help so many people in so many different ways because it's just really community. You have this great energy and positivity about you. Now, I wanted to say in regards to being a Cancer. Now, Cancers are really good people. You're very nurturing, and y'all always take the lead. So you just have this leadership type of thing because it's like a motherly leadership type of thing, and you want everyone to kind of get along, to be along. Even if you're the youngest person out your family, if you're a Cancer, the Cancer always take on that role of leadership and just nurturing because you're the water sign, but you're a really good water sign. You got your emotions, but you were talking a little bit about your emotions, and someone else is a Cancer too. She said, yes, I'm a Cancer as well. It's all about, really just kind of really orchestrating your emotions and managing them, and and knowing when to get upset and when not to get upset. And it goes back to the yang and yin energy and having a balance between both of the energies as well, because my mama's a Cancer. I think I shared that with you. And let me tell you something, she got the same birthday as Wendy Williams, and I'm a Virgo. And she be going on 10. I'm like, yo, it's not even a 10 situation, it's a 4.
If my kids is on here, they'll be like, oh, her too. She be on 10.
Yeah, but you have this good energy about yourself. You got a good spirit about yourself. You got a good heart about yourself, and that's what makes you who you are. And that's what gives you your spiritual, your this spiritual nature about yourself that just kind of flows very easily. And I love the fact that you have developed a show like this that really helps other entrepreneurs and individuals in the community to give them a platform so they can talk to other people who need the love. They need to feel and sense, and then you can feel your passion. So you're doing such a great job. God bless you, Deidre, and all the things that you're doing with the show. And I'm very excited for you, and I just needed to say that because Cancers and Virgos actually really get along very well. And you just have a great future ahead of you. So just keep on trucking, keep on being positive, and just kind of give the haters the hand, because anytime they hating, that means that you're doing something right. Because if you weren't doing it right, they wouldn't be hating on you. Hey.
You have been motivation. You have been motivation for me. And we've talked after situations where, it was just like, oh, I'm about to break, with this job. Mm-hmm. So, my humble beginnings, the endings, so, and I don't even want to say it ended because it didn't end from there. I took a platform that I was getting ready to start for them to bring it on to, continue it. So I never stopped it because they ended me. I continued with it. So, and we're getting bigger, and I was thankful for that job because I met you as well. So,
yeah.
I took so many good things out of that situation. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. And it's beautiful that you came out of that like pure gold. Like you weren't like burnt or anything. You just came out just like as a shining star. And the star that you are is the star that you're going to continue to come. And over the next couple of years, even within the couple of months, you're going to become this really bright star. And the star is going to be so bright that you're just going to open. So many doors are already open for you spiritually. It just hasn't seen yet in the physical sense. But when it does, it's going to be like, wow, now I understand why I had to go through what I had to go through. Now I understand why the hurt, the pain, the suffering, it was all for this. And I really, truly believe in this for you. This is so awesome. And I don't want to say too much because, it's a lot of, I'm feeling a lot of good energy from you. So you're just on a really good path for yourself. And I just want to continue to motivate you and encourage you, my sister, because great things are heading your way. Someone just had a question. Do you believe in gonna with first instance with a person? What does that mean? You understand the question?
Do you believe in going with, is it, Noah, is your phone picking up your background again? I don't know why his phone is doing that. He said the last time it was picking up a song that was playing, but it left a question mark. So I'm curious if he's really asking that. Do you believe in going with first instincts with a person?
With a person. Oh, you're talking about like when you first meet someone, when you first instinct. Well, it has to be some type of connection. So it's not so much of an instinct, it's more of a connection. So it's like if you feel like some type of energy connection, like your spirit is drawn to someone, that's maybe your spirit is telling you this person is somewhat of a good person. Maybe something you need to connect to that person. It don't always have to be physical chemistry. It can be a platonic connection.
So see, like love at first sight or something, like what?
Yeah, but it's usually like
Vibe.
When I usually see those type of questions, it's usually like, first instincts is usually an energy connection.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Like love at first sight is usually like some type of energy connection. Like you have soul ties, you have soulmates, and you have I think it's soul flames as well, or twin flames as well. So which are the different ones? Some people, soulmates, are connected to people because you have been with that person before in a previous life sometimes, and sometimes you haven't, and they're just your soulmate, because we have a whole bunch of soulmates. You don't just get one, you get a whole bunch.
I said that to somebody. I said, what if you actually have more than one soulmate?
You do have more than one soulmate. You just don't have one. You have more. Most people don't get a chance to meet their soulmates.
Yeah.
They'll never meet them. They meet someone else. Most people don't never meet them. They meet someone else and they marry someone else.
Wow.
They don't meet the soulmate. But if you live a little longer and you don't marry somebody, or maybe you marry someone and get divorced, sometimes you are able to meet your soulmate. And you have more than one soulmate. Like I think I've met 1, 2, 3, 4, like four or five of my soulmates. I never married them, but I've met like about 4 or 5 of them.
And how did you know?
It was a connection. An energy connection. The first soulmate I met, I was in college and I was nowhere near as spiritual as I am now. But it was something about him that I would have dreams and things. Something would connect me to this person. Mm-hmm. And the more spiritually I started looking into it, the more I saw different things. And at the time I had a colleague of mine.
He said he think he met with
he met when I seen it. Yeah, you probably did. I had a colleague of mine who was more spiritually, I should say, powerful than me at the time, and she was. I don't know if she identified as a healer, but probably so. She's what I would identify now as a healer. This is like 20-something years ago when I was in college, like 19, 20 years old, mm-hmm. And she had told me, she said that's because she also did dream analysis. She was a dream analyst, so she was able to analyze dreams. And based off what I was telling her, she was like, "Oh, he's one of your soulmates," Mm-hmm. And that's how I was able to connect with that individual. Now I never met. I didn't really get to see him again, but he ended up marrying somebody else.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you're able to connect with that person, you're able to marry that person, and you feel a connection.
But I've even heard somebody say before that their soulmate passed on, and they knew because of that energy that they had with them that they passed on. But they moved on, have another relationship, got married, but they feel like that person that passed on is kind of sound like a Jada Pinkett and Tupac. You know, speaking of Tupac, I got on the shirt today. But speaking of Tupac, you know, he was her soulmate. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
I think she was saying before that like Tupac was her soulmate. So this person was saying that before as well. They were saying that you know their soulmate passed on. They had a child by that man, and he passed on, and they know that he was their soulmate. Um, but she ended up meeting someone else that she feels is her soulmate as well.
Yeah. You can have more than one soulmate, and it could have happened. I mean, I don't know how old the person is, but I know based off my life experience, when I first met my first soulmate, I was like 20 years old. So, and it could have been an extended period of time between the time she met the person and somebody else, because we get more than one soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it depends also too on the situation, the people that you're around, who you're attracting as well. Because a lot of times people aren't really around, I don't want to say the wrong or right people, but they're not around certain people. I guess they're not around positive people to really attract the soulmate when they're younger.
Yeah.
So they meet someone else, or they don't, or they just meet someone else before, and they fall in love with someone else before they can meet the soulmate.
Yeah.
So that happens too. Like I have a girlfriend of mine, she's a Cancer as well, and she really wanted her husband that she's married to now to be her soulmate. She's like, is he my soulmate? I said no. Because she met him when she was in college, but he dropped out of college. Mm-hmm. And I told her, if you stopped dating him, you would have met him. But she continued to be with him even when he was out of college. But she made the decision.
No, it's good.
She made the decision, and she married him and things of that nature. And it's not her soulmate, but it's the man that she married. I mean, they have a pretty decent marriage and relationship. Is not nothing bad about it, but she wanted her husband to be her soulmate so much to a point where she went to someone else and asked them the same question. Like, I guess my question wasn't suffice, so she went to a psychic, and the person told her the same thing I told her. She got the same thing I told her. But I mean, she wanted for someone else though.
Yeah, I used to think that my kid's father was my soulmate. Now he's somebody's cellmate. So, anyway.
What happened?
I just know. I feel like there's a particular person that I feel like is my soulmate. There's no way you go through years with someone and still feel a certain kind of way about them.
Right.
But I just don't know. You don't know, but you feel a different kind of way that you feel about others.
Yep, it's a connection.
It's a connection. Yeah, regardless,
it's a connection.
They can do the worst thing, but it's still that connection is there. And you can forgive a person, this particular person, quicker and easier than if somebody else did a situation like that, or whatever it was, whatever the situation. So you feel like that's your soulmate, but
correct.
On and on. I'm glad.
No. This is great. We'll talk about this on our radio show. We'll talk about soul ties, soulmates, and twin flames as well, and what's the difference between all of them.
That's right.
No, it'll be a great show.
Put it on our PowerPoint. And I'm surprised Instagram must let me stay on now, because I remember at one point it was giving me the countdown by 7:00. But I guess
and we're on a Mercury retrograde as well. So today is the first day of a Mercury retrograde. So
is it? So what are you supposed to do today? What are you supposed to do to tell me, Ayesha? Because I want to.
That's a good thing. Mercury retrogrades is like I look at it as a planet cleansing. So it's just like kind of like reset, recharge, refocus yourself. A lot of people don't like it because actually during the planets, it actually goes backwards. So all the communication gets really, not good, and the technology stuff may not work well. You may run late. They say that you should leave out early, not to sign any big contracts like house or like really big contracts until after the Mercury retrograde. But some people have opened up their stores during the Mercury retrograde and was very successful. So it really depends.
Mm-hmm.
Every person is different, but it's a Mercury retrograde. So it's just the time to reflect, restart, really continue to heal yourself, because we're in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So 2022 is a year of healing. It's really about healing yourself, understanding who you are as a person, and really growing from that. Because 2022 equals 6, and 6 is the number of protection. It's the number of healing. It's a number of self-awareness.
Evil. Everybody always put in 6 as evil, like 666 is evil. So it's not always.
No, it's actually an angel number.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
People do evil things with 666, just like they do evil things with black cats. Black cats are not evil. People just do mean things with it.
Right.
666 is actually an angel number. Yes, I know that Satan has used it for like satanic stuff or people who practice Satanism.
Mm-hmm.
But 666 is actually an angel number. If you look it up, it'll actually tell you what 666 means. But we're in the year of 6, because in numerology, 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. So the number 6 is the number of protection. It's the number of healing. It's a number of self-awareness. So in this year, we're supposed to be healing, becoming more self-aware, becoming more protective of our energy, our space, identifying our boundaries and things of that nature. Some people are not going to be our friends by the end of the year. Some people are going to move and shift in different directions, new businesses. So there's a lot of good energy shift this year. So it's a really good year. I mean, a lot of people don't really understand 6, because someone had said that to me before. It's like, is 6 the devil number? I was like, the number 6 is the devil number. I was like, where you get that from? You know what I
mean? People always said, so, especially with my household, my family is the lottery people. So they be like, oh, no,
yeah,
number Pickett. So, and it was serious. Like that was a whole, our last name is Pickett, but when it came down to the lottery coming, oh, the Pickett on. My grandmother yelling, she turned up the TV, everybody crowd up in the room.
Correct.
Checking.
Correct.
It's even the little kids. We sitting there and we watching too. So that was a traditional thing in my family. It was crazy. And when I grew up, I wasn't a player. I said, I am not playing the lottery. Although Always Ready, that's on here, he gave me a number one time. The first time I ever played, he gave me a number and I hit it 3 times.
Wow, that's good.
Days he gave me a number. He only think I hit it once, but I'm telling right now that I hit that number 3 times.
3 times, that's a good number.
I stopped. I didn't play no more because that's just not me. But
yeah,
thank you, Noah, for that number.
Well, I mean, I have a colleague of mine that says the number 13 is a good number, because she said her house is number 13. Mm-hmm. 13 has always been a positive number in her life.
Yeah.
So
I think it is too for me as well. That 13. And those that 3 and 1 is number anyway. But that's my daughter's numbers. So,
Oh.
Yeah. But I thank you, boo. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Gave me an hour and a half. Go, girl.
Oh my gosh, that long? Well, no, thank you so much for having me. And again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Definitely me and you, Deidre, will definitely talk offline about the show. And you have a lovely, lovely week. Just continue to rest, continue to heal yourself, do anything that's going to help you heal. Whether it's going to the spa, whether it's going for acupuncture, just take time to reset, recharge, and reevaluate during this Mercury retrograde. It will end on June 2nd, and then also this coming week, and we have a full moon. So there's a lot of different energy. So just kind of like if anyone throws a little wrench in your little situation, just kind of reset, take it back. And reevaluate before you reply. That's what the retrograde is all about. So rethinking and reevaluating. That's it.
Thank you for that. Because I will, you know me already. I'll be done replied.
Yes, I know. Let me see what I got to do.
fight. We in a ring now.
Definitely.
You have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too, my love. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I appreciate all. And Noah, that's my birthday right there, 709. You just throw that in there. That's my birthday. I think you know that. That's why you put it up there. But I appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. That was a great show. She gave us an hour and a half today. And if I don't know you, I see a lot of you that came in, joined us that I didn't know. I thank you for joining in. If I don't know you, I still love you. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys next week. I will be posting the video on YouTube, and then the reel will be up, and you can go back and see the past shows on YouTube as well. Thank you. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Bye.